Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Villa Vrindavan, Italy, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast making ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, with co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubha Das. We all have questions and answers, prophet-style Q&A with our very special guest this entire weekend with His Holiness Sacinananda Swami from Berlin. Welcome to the show. This is episode 1345. Welcome, Maharaj.
Welcome. Everyone there, you have a lot of creative names out there.
Maharaj is referring to, if you're listening to this on any of the podcast platforms, you can also join us live by just emailing Mara, wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. You can join our live Zoom group. It's always fun. I give you nicknames. We look at each other. We send each other private notes. It's a great experience. We're honored to have His Holiness Sacinananda Maharaj, who's come to this retreat. This is his third year in a row he's come to this retreat with us, and we've only had 4 of these Italy retreats. And guess what? It's such a joy. It's so spiritually successful. We're guaranteed doing another one in Tuscany. So if it's on your bucket list, we're going to put it out there soon. And not only that, a lot of these people have already been here with us. They've been here 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. It's quite amazing. So today we're doing questions for Maharaj. Any other announcements, Miss Mara? Get in here, Mara.
All right. There's no show the next 2 days because of travel, and then we'll be back on Thursday at the same time, 6 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, Thursday.
What about the Wear Your Merch Monday thing?
Yeah, and this is Wear Your Merch Monday. So, wear
your merch. It's Monday.
Help promote the show by wearing your merch today and post and share your pics in your merch on social media, and we'll share it in the Wisdom of the Sages story. Wisdomofthesages.com. Check it out.
You know, Mara told me as soon as I woke up, hey, it's Wear Your Merch Monday. I was like, okay. And I was wearing the merch without thinking. And I was like, well, then I'm going to do yoga in this thing, and then it's going to go all stinky. I'm just going to save it for later. And I forgot to wear it. This is not my merch. Anyway, we're going to start today, Kastubha. You want to start asking Maharaj the questions? It's so nice having Maharaj here because we get to hear years and years of spiritual discipline and absorbing sort of knowledge, applying it to his life and creating wisdom from that. And now we get to learn from all of his serious spiritual practice. And hopefully we can imbibe it into our life as well. And we can apply it to our life rather.
So sometimes, especially when we have the... Okay.
All right.
It wasn't asking each other.
That was Siri.
Okay, turn that. So sometimes on the show, especially when we have particularly wise guests, we like to do a type of interview that we call prophet style, which is based off of, it's a style like the way that the prophet is questioned in the book The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, where you just these very broad questions about the human experience are presented. Tell us about, for those that have read the book, it's about a very wise man is about to leave where he's been living for some time and return to his home after many years. And all the local people are coming out, and they know it's their last chance to speak to him. So they want to ask him very important questions, and they just ask questions on very broad topics. And they say, please speak on this. And then he speaks. So we just want to ask you questions on these broad topics. And perhaps we can begin with this question. Please tell us about friendship.
When I think of a true friend, the sentence of Rumi comes to mind. Friends live in each other's heart. There is an understanding between them that doesn't need to even be verbally communicated, because they are in the deepest center of the human experience, the feeling heart. And uh, friends remain friends and benefit from their friendships, even if they are thousands of kilometers apart from each other, because remember, they are together by this mystical uh, uh, bond that is affection laden friendship. So, this is true friends, friends who live in each other's heart, and therefore, there is nothing more rewarding than a true friendship.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Maharaj, can you share the importance of forgiveness?
Yes.
It seems like it appears in all spiritual cultures.
Yeah, forgiveness means to let go of poison. See, when you hold the hurt which someone uh, in reality or in your own imagination uh, did to you or inflicted upon you, if you hold the hurt in your memory, it will turn into a grudge.
Mm.
And that grudge is like a thorn that is uh, in your body. It accompanies you everywhere and spoils all your experiences.
Mm.
Those who have traveled barefoot in India and have gotten a thorn know what this means, a thorn in the flesh. It's everywhere. So forgiveness means to let go of that grudge. And in this way, it means to let go or expel the thorn or let go of the poison.
I heard a good one this morning. On this program is so sort of overwhelming, but I have a few moments as I'm getting in the bathroom just to play lectures. And so one I heard this morning was, we have no right to be resentful for anything. And that was like the title of it. And it said that no one dies from a snake bite. They all die from the venom.
Yes.
So many times we're bit and we're hurt, but it's really as it pulses through our veins, that's where it actually kills us. So that must be like removing that thorn, Maharaj.
Yes, 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 yes.
Mm.
Yes. No one dies of this bite. Everyone dies of the venom only,
Mm.
which is what you keep inside
Mm.
from it. Yeah, forgiveness is in your best of interest, and and beyond that, it can smoothen out relationships so that you can perhaps discover a new dimension in it.
Mm. The Bhakti Recovery Group, which we were mentioning yesterday, it's one of the principles of the 12 steps is you have to go make amends with people that you're harboring resentment with. And it's, what do they call it? A fearless moral inventory. I love this phrase, a moral inventory, a fearless moral inventory of what you've done wrong, who you've hurt. And then you got to go back and you have to think like, okay, I'm mad at this person. This person hurt me. And you got to unearth all these resentments for them. And then you have to own your responsibility in where things went wrong. And it's so freeing because we could hate somebody for 40 years.
Yeah.
Or we could hate people that are dead in the, like we're punishing them.
Yeah, yeah. To think you punish someone by not forgiving them and just being always, yeah, I don't give in a meter or a centimeter or a millimeter even.
Right.
By doing this, you may think, wow, now the other is going to really get it back from me. I'm not forgiving them, but that is as foolish as drinking a cup of poison and thinking it will hurt the other person.
Mm.
It will hurt you only.
Mm.
Thank you.
Because do you have any forgiveness realizations?
No, I just need forgiveness.
You need forgiveness. I forgive you.
We've done some shows on that, but always one one thing that there's one great talk on forgiveness that was Yudhishthir
Mm. Well, that's right.
in Mahabharata, and he lists forgiveness is this, forgiveness is that. He goes on and on about forgiveness. So many angles, so many very interesting, thought-provoking ways that he approached it.
Mm.
But there's one that always really sticks. He says, and I believe it was, forgiveness is a quiet mind.
Mm.
And forgiveness is a, yeah.
Wonderful.
It's such a good. It's many episodes. If you have something more to say, it's nice to tease it out.
I can only talk from my own experience. Uh, I think to practice forgiveness, when you start to become aware of it would be good now, but you just can't yet do it. So you walk up the mountain. Maybe I should try it more, a little harder by going on the spiritual platform and understanding we are all spiritual souls, brothers and sisters on the spiritual platform. Only our computer program happens to be different on the human platform. So you may do all kinds of intellectual gymnastics to bring yourself up. That's like climbing the mountain. But when you finally reach the top, you will feel, oh yeah, now I'm ready to forgive you. And the rest is a fun-filled downwards climb. No effort any longer in life. It is just relief. And what was the word?
Call it coasting.
It's coasting. Vroom, whatever that word means, it sounds right. You come down this mountain. So it does take a little effort to come to that. For instance, the effort of patience. You have to be patient because it doesn't help if you say to someone, I forgive you, but then the next moment you take the knife and no, it's not a mental thing. It has to reach so deep in you that it's in the heart where all remaining traces of resentment to this idea of forgiveness can be dissolved. And so, yeah, I have seen in my practical life, forgiveness is only possible if you change the level. If you are on the, just so much on the identified with the body and the feelings and your ego and so on, it's very difficult to do that from the heart. You can make a mental gymnastic to do, but the radical forgiveness in the sense that, it's over with, that can come most easily when you take your ship away from the harbor of the ego, when you go on the free sea of spiritual understanding, where you see we are, after all the part of the Supreme One. And from that level, it's no longer, let us say, theoretical forgiveness or half-hearted forgiveness or forgiveness by still keeping the knife in the pocket ready to stab. No, it is a complete and total forgiveness when you come from that level. That is my experience. At least for me, nothing else has worked for that total forgiveness.
What do you think of this, Prabhus, Maharaj? That harboring resentment is like the beginning of atheism, meaning I'm thinking he's hurt me, she's hurt me, he's betrayed me, she's abandoned me, when I'm not understanding that. Don't you understand, like, everything's happening to you? The Lord is giving a particular recipe for your healing, for your growth, to release you from the maze of material existence. And you're not seeing God's hand in all of this. We can only see the God's hand when I win an Academy Award, and I thank God for this and thank God for all the good things. But I have to learn how to see God's hand in all the pain and all the hurt, and not even hold the person accountable, but see that God is putting these situations in my life for my edification and evolution. You think that would atheism?
This can be one path. that go back to in your own life when you uh, when you can't forget. Sometimes there are moments when you think, no, this was placed in my life from above for a good reason, but still you can't forgive.
Right.
So you have an awareness of God as being the supreme controller, but most of the time you don't have. So then it's the road to atheism. Uh, let us be very clear. I want to say, we are talking now about uh, a lot of inner muscles. To do forgiveness requires strength. And that is not easily attained, that strength. That is maybe strength attained like Kostuba's strength. I know he can do 100 push-ups. I give up when I am 13 and a half. Not in one shot. Yeah. Yes. So anyways, let us, someone who can excel in physical exercise. He has done many exercises and has strengthened his muscles. So I do strongly believe that there is something like a weak forgiveness muscle and a strong forgiveness muscle. And you need to practice it. You need to practice it with smaller things, like a weightlifter. He will start with 2 kg or I don't know, 3 kg or 5 kg. You know better than me. But then he will be able, after some time, as the muscles grow, to even do. I don't know, but you don't know that.
We don't even know what the
15.
KG is.
No, we don't know.
Yeah. Heavyweight.
I thought.
Yeah. kg is a measuring unit.
We know that. We know that. Anyway, beautiful. Yeah, you could really go on and on with forgiveness. It's such a deep. But let's move to the next. You want to go more?
No, I was gonna say that may lead the next subject may connect with it nicely because maybe forgiveness becomes easier as we age. But the question is, could you speak to us about aging? How that changes one, how that plays a role in one's life and one's spiritual life? Aging.
I thought it would never happen to me. It is said when death, which is at the end of our physical existence, when the god of death, Yamaraj, has put his eye on you, he will first give you gray hair. That is already happening. In our Raghunaths, it is all pervading gray hair.
Yes, it is.
Then there is failing eyesight.
Check.
Yeah,
I got that too.
like this. You need to have your second set of eyes. And the last is moving tooth in the mouth. They go like, and when you eat, all of a sudden you have your tooth in your bread, you know. So that's the third letter, which the god of death will show you or send you. And then it's very close to your physical departure. Now, on another note, aging. There is a secret about aging, which I became aware when my years started to come very quickly. When you have a certain age, then let us say 65, you will see the ages come very fast.
It's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah. It is said, and when you think every 5 minutes is breakfast, then you are close to your death. Because time, subjectively or in your own experience, runs faster when you are aging. So, anyways, when I saw this phenomena, time running gallop, dong, 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 then I became serious and thought, is there anything I could do? And most people I inquired said no. And then I met Arka, um, a scientist, and he said there are actually 3 ages.
Mm.
One is your calendar age.
Calendar age.
You find that in your passport in case you've forgotten. When your life started, and then you can calculate. The second, perhaps more interesting, is your biological age.
Hmm.
How good is your stomach? How good is your lungs? What is with your bladder function and everything? A biological age. And the third and most interesting age is called you choose. It is how you feel yourself, how you identify yourself. Uh, when you are feeling the influence of aging on your body, uh, you should still learn to laugh without a reason. You should still dance. You should still make jokes and laugh. And you should still think and have a serious discussion. You should still do yoga. You should jump over a fence if necessary. In other words, do the things which young people do. My chosen age is 40 years.
Nice.
And calendar age is scandalously much, is very high. But I do feel young, and yeah. And if I'm not, then I take an extra rest, and then it is okay.
It was nice.
Thank you, Marsh. Raghunath?
Yeah, are we doing every highlighted one?
That's what I'm doing that for you right there.
Oh, thank you. Mars, can you share something about prayer? It's been a subject we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah. Raghunath has jumped over now.
Jumped over.
Which was highlighted. any, yeah, that was the
inspired.
divine inspiration in your heart. Prayer, on prayer, yes, first of all, when you pray, make sure that the real you prays. It shouldn't be lip prayer or mind prayer. Oh, I should pray. Oh, I heard a prayer is good. Hallelujah. Now I do it. No, it should be the real you who's concerned, who has something to pray, and so on. The second thing is, as far as the Gaudiya tradition, the tradition in which I practice and in which bhakti is highlighted, gives us 4 steps of prayers that will for sure be answered. They all have to do with bringing the person who prays to the stage where the real self prays. First step, praise. You pray to an address to the Lord, and then you praise Him. You have something wonderful to say. You are in the hearts of everyone, and you know everything which happens inside of me and outside of me. Something like this. Praise.
So, number 1, praise.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 2. Yes. Oops. Look at that. That is.
We don't know how it happened.
It was some. Everyone can see
Balloons. I think so.
balloons rising in the sky. How creative! Thank you. The second step is, after connecting up there, you need now to connect with you as you are now, your situation. In Sanskrit, you would call this Dainya Bodhika. You come to your authentic self that is troubled by being in the material world. You take on a humble position. It doesn't mean you need to become contrite. You know, it means to just arrive at your situation as you are now. Soul in the world who addresses the Supreme. So that is expressing your situation. Second step. No. Now we come to the third step. It is expressing gratitude. You don't come immediately to give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. You acknowledge to first of all the gifts that are already given to you. Very important when you address the Supreme. I thank you for having given me the human form of life where I can express from my heart mm, gratitude. I see the sun rising each new day, giving energy to all the living entities. I see how you have made the perfect guest house here on earth with food, with good air, with everything for us to move on. And the last, so expressing gratitude. And the last is asking for a blessing. That Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur he has expressed that when we pray to that Supreme who is so benevolent, who is so absolutely kind and has not become angry, although we have so often refused to turn to him, we can ask for a blessing. And this, of course, depends on your situation and also on your spiritual development where you are. Always make sure that the real self speaks. It is not for pretense. It is prayer is for becoming real. It's a form of conversation, having a talk with the Supreme, and it goes through these four steps: praising, then expressing your own situation, then finally giving thanks for what you have been given, and then you may ask for your blessings. May I always remember you even when the world becomes dark around me, or when it becomes very bright around me, when I'm on the stage and very much appreciated. May I always be there and not forget this connection.
Mm.
Prayer. Let the real self pray, and then go through. You can go through all the stages, or do what you want. There is a Sanskrit shloka. It says, just like a no, the Lord is unlimited. He is beyond our words and our thoughts. Yet he finds pleasure when someone prays to him, just like the father enjoys the broken language of his growing child.
Can I ask more about that, Marish? Sometime lately in my life, I've been feeling this idea that normally where our awareness is very much absorbed in the people around us. Well, let me take one step before that. I think to many people, even the idea of prayer seems like a silly thing, where you're just speaking to an imaginary friend that doesn't exist or something like that. People may see it that way. But as a person with faith, what I've been feeling is that our awareness is generally absorbed in the people around us. It's very hard to draw our awareness in. And it seems like the life of prayer is that primarily you're with this God within the heart, and you're feeling that presence all the time. Like becomes the primary level of awareness, and then the rest is actually secondary. Not that you're neglectful or anything, but like this becomes the primary thing, that God is always right here in the heart, and it's something that's constant. And I'm forgetting the name of the book, but I believe that you would be familiar with it. Was this book about, I believe it was a Russian pilgrim uh, who was trying to understand this the way of the pilgrim, that he had heard that about this idea of praying constantly, praying 24 hours a day, and he was trying to understand that and the meaning of it. Could you share maybe just something of that idea with us?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Our attention is captured by not only the people around us, but the situations. But if that has become your life, then where is your own life? I want to give an example. Sometimes people are so invested in what they do, their music, their career, that they have no existence uh, beyond what they do. They have turned into human doings and have given up the most precious foundation of humanness, that is being a soul. And the problem with this is when something happens in the outside, they have nowhere to go. When the people who they invest time and betray them, for instance, or hurt them, or just don't show up any longer in the relationship, then they have cultivated nothing else than that. That's their life, and they lose when something is lost outside. What they should not lose is their own treasure that lies inside. So you have to train, in my understanding, becoming a human being and stop being a human advisor, a human counselor, a human, and be all of that. Be only that. I'm sorry. Be only that. Yes, it takes time uh, to come in contact with oneself. And there is an Ayurvedic treatment for this. Ayurveda recognizes that this can be one of the causes of illness, to be too much invested in others. Some traditions speak of losing yourself in others, losing, falling over, and whoop, you're no longer on the seat of the self any longer. You have been swallowed up by others. That creates interdependent, is it called interdependent relationships or codependent? Yes, codependent. I'm sorry. Yes. So, mm, yes, the Ayurvedic treatment, in old time was to go with into once a month or every 2 weeks to go into a house within a house. What is that? Well, at the edge of the village, they would build a mud house with uh, windows facing mm, mm, south and north. Then within that house, they built another house with windows facing east and west. So all the light they would get was indirect light. All the sounds they would hear were indirect sounds. When does this happen to a normal person? It happens when he's still in the womb of his mother. It is happening when he doesn't have these complex relationships. It is happening when he has not built and invested up a whole external life which he needs to feed with his own life force to keep it alive, and where he loses himself in. So to bring a person to the house within the house, where he is not somewhat secluded from the world, even physically, and asked him to engage in. They would also do something there to engage in readings, spiritual readings, chanting mantras, and doing all those spiritual activities in relationship to the one with the many names. That would cure his absolute and total investment in the outside world, in outside relationships. So you would take yourself out of society. You would stay in that house, within the house, for you choose, sometimes 4 days, sometimes more days, sometimes only a day, sometimes only an afternoon and a night, or an evening, and so on, as required, so that you can take yourself out of the network of complex relationships, and are free for the one relationship.
Mm.
Good. Thank you, Marsh. Raghunath, maybe you can build one of these houses within the house.
House within
in
a
your
house.
in your
I like
house.
that. Super soul.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be very nice.
Within a house, maybe.
Oh, now you're going too far, Raghunath.
You can take
In a
the
cave.
the clay from the super soul, then it's even better. But you are a singer. Most probably you need a builder to do that.
Raghunath, you want to take that one right there? This
Yeah,
highlighted,
this is
this highlighted one right over
this
here.
is a good one. This is a good one because yeah. What is your realizations of pain? Getting pain in this world.
Wow, yes. Pain. Well, there are 3 types of pains and 3 types of solutions. There's pain of the body.
Yep.
When you cut yourself, or you hurt yourself, or you broke a leg, or whatever, pain of the body. Then a little higher than that, or in more intense of that, than that, is pain of the mind.
Mm.
That is, thank you for keeping count. You are the systematic person amongst us. So, pain of the mind, when you are hurt, when something happens on the emotions. And then is the pain of the soul. I will explain. When there's pain of the body, you cry physical tears, water. When there is pain of the mind, you cry tears of the mind, mental tears. Uh, and when there is, when you become aware, we have to say like this, that there is a pain in the soul who longs for the relationship with the Lord, and who also longs to be situated in its real life. No, these are tears of the soul. Now, while the tears of the body and the mind taste very bad, salty, and no one would like to drink them, these tears. They are just so miserable, make you miserable. The tears of the soul, and I should say the awakening soul, are so sweet. It is therefore said, there's only one price to get God. That's when you cry these spiritual tears. So, pain of the body, yeah. Better you do something before it comes, by a regular diet, by moving nicely, having some exercise, by having enough sleep. All of you sleep deprived, very busy people, when you cannot come to the level of good deep sleep, you cannot access the parasympathetic nerve system, which regulates your digestion, which regulates your nerve system, which regulates your blood circulation. In other words, when you are always in that stress system, the sympathetic nerve system, you will become uh, invariably ill. Many of our civilization diseases, like poor digestion, you know, your family will complain because of the foggy air which is around you. You know, all this comes because not enough sleep. So physical well care is done by uh, diet, eating properly, exercising properly, and also having that good rest, sufficient rest. Mm, mental well-being you can get by this all comes in the Vedic way. It is comes by good friendship. Have a talk. It comes by uh, being focused on an inspiring goal in life that gives you confidence and mental well-being. And your mental well-being comes also when you stop that negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. Oh no, this will not work out. So this is what I think it is better to do some precautionary measures against physical and mental pain than talk about you know doctors and so on which you invite once there is this pain. But the soul pain, that people don't even feel it any longer. It's so old. It's so ancient, this pain. It is so often covered over by a less than spiritual lifestyle that they don't feel it. They feel the effects of being disconnected, that is attached, ruled by one's habits, you know, feeling that the real life runs out of between the fingers, and this enough is never enough symptom, you know, which is there when you have no deep contentment in you. Yeah, that spiritual pain, you can come on the retreat of the wisdom of the sages, have good association, sing your heart out, or do like yesterday, everyone was dancing. Raghunath was motivating us. If you have love of God, you must jump. My German mind was immediately thinking, how are the two connected, please? but I also jumped because the atmosphere was so very good. You know, find friends on the spiritual level, exchange like this. Or I know this good thing, the wisdom of the sages groups. Sage groups, it's called, where you have sangha or association on a weekly basis, and with like-minded people. This grows a lot. It helps you to process life, and it helps you to redirect your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you know, it's people are signing up for the next groups now, for the summers groups, and I think something like 26 of the 31 groups are entirely full now. So if you want to get in a group, now's the time to do it. It's a really it'll help relieve your pain.
Yeah. Go to our website, wisdomofthesages.com, and you can click on it there, how to join.
Thank you.
Free of charge, right? Is it free
Yes,
of
it's
charge?
entirely free of charge.
All right, free of charge.
Want to paint, or shall we
We got time for one more.
choose, Mars, between pilgrimage
Or death. What would you like, pilgrimage or death?
Ooh.
Or combine them both.
I think most let us say color, most fire has this death question. Um, there is something which Gandhi once said that has become my own motto how to deal with death. He said, life and death are like two ornate wooden boxes, life, death, which both of them hold the key to open the other. Now, listen carefully what this means. This is something for the intelligence. Uh, when you look at life realistically, you will know it will come to death one day, and you will use it then properly. Death is in spiritual culture seen as a motivator. A wise man should keep death in front of his eyes. He should not suppress the idea, because that will teach him what is essential. Everything uh, uh, is put to an end by death, except those essential spiritual things which have that taste of eternity to them. Love to God, um, mm, uh, chanting in devotional absorption, but also let us not only talk of the highest, being good here in this world, being support to others, and so on. So death reminds us on what is important. Yeah, it opens up the box of life, of a fulfilling life. So both of them are interconnected. They belong together. And when you do this, think sometimes about your death, that it will come. You will tweak and correct what needs to be tweaked and corrected in your life to find the essential, fulfilling life, and to use every time, the time you have, in a fulfilling way. It is good to think about it. It's not frightening. And then, all you good people out there, uh, then when you are thinking about your own death, when it comes, you won't be frightened so much, but you will be carried by the good life which you have led, by the goodness in the life which you have had. That goodness will carry you onwards, sometimes to the best possible destination, but in all cases, it will carry you in a progressive way forward. So, therefore, death holds the key of life, and life holds the key of death. If you live properly, if you live with the goodness, then the death won't be an execution. It will be like moving onwards. I just recently, and I will end with this, heard about there was one servant of a great spiritual master, and he told the servant, um, let us call him Ashok, told his friend, uh, tomorrow I will die, but don't tell our exalted master. He's so busy with important things. He should not be diverted. So the next day came. Ashok took a good shower, dressed in festive garments, and gave up his body. His master was informed, and the first thing was he cried, Ashok, Ashok, Ashok is the best. Then he went to Ashok and said, Ashok, you're lying in the wrong direction. Come back now and lie in the proper direction. Otherwise, you give us so much work to when in the funeral to correct whatever mistakes were done. So by the power of this great and merciful master, Ashok returned. The soul came back. He lied in the right direction and said, sorry for the inconvenience, and left. This sounds, this is an ancient story, but this story underlines that death doesn't have to be frightening if you have lived properly, if you have used the thought about death to open your life to all the wonderful opportunities and so on. Yes. There is so much more information in the Vedic way on this subject. Yeah. To die the good death.
Just thought I'd say that, we get I hear so many nice testimonies from Wisdom of the Sages, people, because there's so many of them, and people in their lives are passing away all the time.
Sure.
And so Satyabrata's mother passed away recently, and he reached out, and our prayers for her and for him. Just yesterday or the day before, Chapu's grandmother, she was the matriarch of the family there in Caracas, Venezuela, passed away.
Our love to her.
She jumped on a plane, flew there, and took care of everything. Took care of the family, took care of the grandmother, helped her through that, helped the entire family. Because what they're hearing from Bhagavatam every day, it's giving them the vision that they need to be able to deal with life's most pressing challenges. And you see the families appreciate it. Her whole family's like, thank you so much for coming. You stay here, don't go. So it's touching and encouraging to hear how all this whole community uplifts one another like that. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Wonderful interview.
What are we going to do without Maharaj? And thanks for everybody that's joining us live and adjusting your schedule. There's no show for the next 2 days, and we're back at 6 a.m. I want to thank everybody from the Wisdom of the Sages Retreat. Haribo. We're winding it all up today. And, Maharaj wants Merit to show the... Okay, look alive, people. Here comes the camera. Yes. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure, if you like what we're doing, go to wisdomofthesages.com. This is a community-supported podcast. And please become a monthly member. It helps us keep doing what we love to do. I really want to thank Maharaj for coming on the show again. We loved having you in our life, and we feel very fortunate. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow. Haribo!